It's not by chance that you're viewing this video. There's a reason you're here. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust the timing of your life and know that you're being led to where you're meant to be. As you stumble on this video, perhaps not by chance, it will serve to awaken your spirit. You may have been sensing a shift lately, feeling an inner resistance, yet also experiencing a quiet, unwavering knowing deep within that something significant has changed in you. Let this serve as your confirmation. You have already crossed over. You have stepped into the beginning of your promised land. Although the full evidence may not yet be visible in the physical realm, the spiritual realm is already aware of your arrival, and the enemy is in a state of panic. When a chosen one enters the territory that has been divinely ordained for them, everything begins to shift. The forces that once oppressed you start to lose their hold. The delays that previously frustrated you begin to dissolve, and the enemies who once appeared powerful now scramble in fear. This transformation is not occurring because you are fighting harder. It is happening because in truth you have already won. Let us now break this revelation down into 7 divine chapters, so you may gain a deeper understanding of what is truly unfolding and why the pressure you're experiencing feels so different in this season. But before we delve further, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe, not merely as a show of support, but because this is not just another video. This is a divine alert, a prophetic confirmation that you, chosen one, have already stepped into your promised land, and the enemy is fully aware of it. If your spirit bears witness to this truth, I invite you to type 77 in the comments below. Understand that this number is not arbitrary. It is a prophetic code, a declaration to heaven, and a spiritual signal affirming that you are aligned, activated, and fully prepared to take possession of what has already been granted to you by divine inheritance. Not everyone will remain until the end of this message, for not everyone has crossed over into this new season. However, if you choose to stay, if your spirit is prepared, you will gain clarity, receive divine insight, and unlock the spiritual awareness that comes from the deep knowing that victory has already been secured on your behalf. And know this, the enemy cannot stop what has already been ordained. This message is not intended to be heard only once. It is a living word, rich with layers of truth, power, and revelation, meant to be received in the spirit and revisited as a continual source of divine confirmation and strength. Revisit this message whenever your faith begins to waver or your sense of clarity starts to fade. For each time you return, a new key will be revealed, another piece of your victory already set in motion and unfolding according to divine timing. Now let us dive into what lies ahead. Chapter 1. The shift has already taken place, even if you cannot yet see it. Chosen one, listen with discernment. For what you are about to hear may be one of the most significant revelations of this season. The shift has already occurred, not next week, not when the finances arrive, not when apologies are made, and not when visible results appear. It happened in the spirit, silently, powerfully, and without requiring your permission. Heaven has already issued the announcement concerning your life. Your name has been released into new territory, and the doors you once waited on have already been opened. Your access has been granted, your positioning has changed, and the divine transition is complete. Now it is only a matter of time before the natural realm catches up with what has already taken place in the spiritual realm. However, because you have grown accustomed to delay, and because you have endured intense spiritual warfare, it is easy to believe that you are still on the journey, still waiting for breakthrough. But the truth is this, you are already there. Shifts in the kingdom of God rarely begin with fireworks or grand displays. Instead, they often start with pressure, with unfamiliar resistance, with battles that defy logic, and with moments marked by exhaustion, confusion, and a quiet, unshakable knowing deep within. This is because in the spiritual realm, movement generates friction, especially when you have just stepped into something sacred. Your advancement has disrupted the atmosphere, and what you are sensing is not delay, but divine confirmation that you have entered new territory. You may still feel as though you are in transition, as if you are almost there, nearing your breakthrough. But from heaven's perspective, you have already crossed the threshold. The Red Sea behind you has been closed. The wilderness is no longer your dwelling place. And though the ground beneath your feet may feel unfamiliar, it is still yours by divine right. You are not being tested to determine your worthiness. You have already been approved. What is happening now is not a test of qualification, but a process of positioning, preparing you to occupy what has already been given. Understand this. The warfare you are currently experiencing is not about where you are going. It is about where you already are. The enemy is not fighting to stop your next step. He is reacting in fear to the truth that you have already taken it. The enemy often senses your movement before you do, because your steps now carry a different weight. There is anointing upon your feet, divine favor upon your name, and holy fire in your voice, and the realm of darkness cannot withstand it. That heaviness in the atmosphere, the tension you feel, the strange resistance from people and places that once felt familiar and comfortable, these are not signs to retreat. They are signals that you have arrived. Hell always panics when heaven elevates. You are no longer asking for permission. You are taking possession. You are no longer begging for access. You are walking boldly through doors that were custom designed for you. Because they were. You are no longer searching for confirmation from those who were never qualified to validate your calling. You are now walking fully in a reality that heaven has already declared complete. This is the moment where your faith must become sharper than your feelings, for your natural eyes may not yet perceive it, but your spirit is already resonating with the truth. You have entered a new dimension, a new chapter, a new realm of spiritual authority, and a fresh flow of divine favor. And the enemy is fully aware of it. Therefore, stand firm. Do not allow the fog of uncertainty to cause you to forfeit what you have already stepped into. Do not let the delay in physical manifestation convince you that the shift has not taken place. It has. It is done. It is finished. And with every act of obedience, every time you choose to show up in faith, you activate a deeper measure of what has already been released to you. Let this serve as your divine confirmation. You are not merely walking toward your breakthrough, you are living in it. Now your assignment is simple. Take the land. Chapter 2. The enemy can smell the promise, and that's why he's afraid. Chosen one, make no mistake, the enemy is highly strategic. He does not waste his energy attacking random targets. He directs his focus toward those who carry something sacred, those who are marked by divine purpose. And you are carrying promise, purpose, wisdom, and high spiritual authority. That is precisely why the pressure has intensified in this season. The enemy can smell the oil on your life. He recognizes the shift that has taken place in the spirit. He sees the heavenly reinforcements that now surround you. And he senses that the land you have long prayed for is no longer a distant hope, but a secured reality in the spiritual realm. This is not a theory. This is a legal transaction in the courts of heaven. Your inheritance is being released. And because he knows you are standing on the verge of something permanent, something irreversible, the enemy launches his counterattack. He sends distractions to scatter your focus, delays to discourage your heart, confusion to cloud your mind, and noise to drown out the voice of truth. But understand this, his tactics are not designed to stop the promise itself. They are aimed at stopping you from fully settling into it. Pharaoh did not pursue the Israelites while they were still in bondage. He chased them at the sea after they had already been set free. That is when hell panics, not during captivity, but after deliverance, when destiny begins to unfold. And that is exactly where you are right now. You are no longer bound. You are no longer confused about who you are. You are no longer trapped in cycles that once kept you small and stagnant. You have been delivered, and now you are dangerous. Why? Because a person who is free and carries divine purpose is truly unstoppable. The panic you sense around you, the spiritual turbulence you are feeling, the sudden and unexplainable attacks, they are not coincidences. They are the result of demonic disorganization. A frantic response from the forces of darkness that recognize you have stepped into something eternal, something unshakable. Hell is in chaos because the control it once held over you has been utterly shattered. The strongholds have been broken. The lies have lost their power. The generational curses have met their match, and that match is you. The enemy cannot stop what God has already released. So instead, he resorts to confusion, hoping to distract and destabilize you before you fully take possession of what is rightfully yours. His strategy is subtle but calculated, to make you question your progress, to cause you to doubt your worth, and to push you to second-guess your next step. Because if he cannot steal your promise, he will attempt to shake your confidence, hoping you'll surrender it voluntarily. But here is the truth. The more you move forward, the more unstable your enemies become. Your obedience, your momentum, your clarity, it terrifies the realm of darkness. You are not losing ground, you are gaining it. And your forward motion is disrupting every force that once thought it had a claim on your destiny. Because forward movement for you signifies total defeat for them. Your obedience disrupts their operations. Your worship dismantles their weapons. Your identity shatters their illusions. You are now walking with spiritual weight, and every force of darkness is fully aware of it. This is not the season to shrink back. This is not the time to negotiate with fear. This is the moment to rise and stand tall in the unshakable confidence of the one who has called you. You are no longer a prisoner. You are no longer living in spiritual survival mode. You are no longer begging for crumbs from tables God never ordained for you. You are a possessor now, a rightful heir, anointed to take territory, built to carry the weight of kingdom responsibility, and divinely marked to disrupt systems, transform lives, and shift generations. The enemy can smell your promise, and that is precisely why he is afraid. He is not intimidated by your past, he is terrified of your future. Because he knows that the moment you fully believe in who you are and embrace what God has placed inside of you, his influence is finished. So keep walking, keep building, keep believing, because you are not merely carrying a promise, you are stepping boldly into it. Stand tall, chosen one. What's in your hand may not look like much, but what's in your spirit is unstoppable. You have the victory. Now walk in it, declare it, build with it, move like it's already done, because it is. Chapter 3. You're not who you used to be, and hell knows it. Chosen one, understand this. One of the greatest threats to the kingdom of darkness is not your resources. It is not your connections, your platform, or even your prayers. It is your growth, your internal transformation, your unshakable maturity. Because the version of you that exists now is not the same person who wept through the last season. You no longer respond impulsively. You no longer collapse under the first wave of pressure. You no longer run to old patterns or habits for comfort, and you no longer require external validation in order to move forward in faith. You have been stretched, you have been refined, you have been tested in the fire, and now you walk with wisdom. You move with discernment, you carry the weight of experience, and hell knows that the old tactics won't work on the new you. You now choose peace over panic. You respond with discernment rather than desperation. You wait on God instead of chasing what merely appears shiny or promising. That evolution within you, that spiritual maturity you've cultivated, terrifies the enemy. Because now he can no longer manipulate you with the same old tactics. He can't bait you with familiar temptations. He can't entrap you with the same cycles of emotional warfare. You have graduated. And with that graduation comes a new level of spiritual authority and divine access. The real warfare was never just about your circumstances, it was about your capacity. The enemy feared who you would become once you outgrew the chains, the lies, and the limitations he used to control you. And now that you've expanded, you've become unstoppable. God was not merely delaying things, he was developing you. He was stretching your spirit to prepare you to carry the full weight of your calling. He was enlarging your character so that you could handle the blessing without breaking under its weight. Because the truth is this, immature people often mishandle miracles, but those who are mature know how to multiply them. Now that you have matured spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, the gates have opened, the land has been unlocked, and the next level has recognized you, not because of what you've gained, but because you have become stable, enough to steward what is now being released. You are no longer simply waiting, you are ready. The promises that were once delayed are now rushing toward you, because you have finally come into alignment, both spiritually and emotionally, to carry them with integrity and strength. And here is what you must understand. The enemy is in full-blown panic mode, not because of what you have, but because of who you have become. You now know who you are. You walk in identity. You speak with clarity. You worship with spiritual weight. You pray with deep understanding. You serve without striving. And you obey, even when it is difficult. That kind of obedience sends a spiritual earthquake through the enemy's camp. Your confidence in God has become a threat because it means you no longer idolize outcomes. You trust divine timing. You rest in God's sovereignty, and that kind of faith cannot be manipulated, delayed, or defeated. Your consistency in faith has become a weapon because it reveals that you are no longer led by what you feel, but by what God has spoken. Your identity is your access. For once you truly know who you are, you stop negotiating with fear and insecurity. You are no longer the broken version of yourself. You are no longer trapped in survival mode. You are no longer striving to earn what heaven has already freely given to you. You have a faith in concept to yet. You have stepped into authority. You have stepped into clarity. You have stepped into legacy. Hell hoped you would remain confused, but instead, you gain clarity. Hell hoped you would remain insecure, but now you walk with the confidence of a son, a daughter, an heir to the kingdom. And now that you know who you are, there is no turning back. This version of you, healed, mature, discerning, spirit-filled, and walking in kingdom authority, is exactly what the enemy never wanted to see. So keep walking, keep building, keep speaking life, because your evolution is not merely personal, it is prophetic. You are no longer who you used to be, and all of hell is fully aware of it. Chapter 4. You already have the victory, now you're just enforcing it. Chosen one, receive this with your whole spirit. You are not fighting to win, you are fighting because you have already won. The victory is not pending, it is not in process, it is finished. God has already signed the contract. The covenant has been sealed in heaven. The promise was written in eternal ink, and no demon, delay, or human decision can reverse what has been divinely ordained. You are not striving for breakthrough, you are standing in it. Your role now is to enforce what heaven has already established. Walk with authority, move with confidence. The outcome has already been settled. What God has approved, no one can cancel. You are not waiting for confirmation. You are the confirmation. The enemy's tactics in this season are rooted in fear, not power. He is bluffing, throwing illusions, stirring confusion, and creating noise because he knows the truth. He no longer has legal access to your life. The blood of Jesus covered it. The curse was broken. The verdict has already been declared in the courtroom of heaven, and it ruled in your favor. You are not moving toward victory. You are moving from it. Every step you take in obedience is a step deeper into your promised territory. Every time you worship in the midst of warfare, you are reminding the realm of darkness who you belong to. And every time you show up in faith, even when afraid, you are enforcing what heaven has already finished. This is not a season for begging. It is a season for binding. It is not a season for shrinking back. It is a season for stepping in. You are not hoping the door will open. You are awakening to the truth that it has already been unlocked. You are not a victim of delay. You are a vessel of dominion. You carry spiritual authority. You are heaven's representative on earth. Wherever you walk, you carry legal access to shift atmospheres, align circumstances, and release favor. The only power the enemy holds is in your ignorance. That's why his primary strategy is confusion. But this is not a battle for survival. It is a walk of possession. Just like Joshua and the Israelites, your assignment now is to place your foot on the land God has already given you. Not to ask for permission, not to second-guess your right to it, but to take it boldly, prayerfully, and obediently. The enemy wants you to believe that your promise is still up for debate. He wants you to hesitate, to grow weary, and to misinterpret resistance as defeat. For what has already been accomplished, you simply have to enforce it. And you do that through your obedience, your consistency, your voice, your prayer. Here is the truth. Heaven has already declared, it is yours. Your peace is yours. Your restoration is yours. Your calling is yours. Your influence is yours. Your financial release is yours. Your generational breakthrough is yours. Your anointing is yours. Your land is yours. You no longer have to fight for what has already been accomplished. You simply have to enforce it. And you do that through your obedience, your consistency, your voice, your prayers, your confidence, and your unwavering posture, standing as one who knows the victory is already won. You are not here to beg God. You are here to align with what He has already spoken. You are not here to plead with the enemy. You are here to enforce the eviction notice. You are not on trial. You are walking in the fulfillment of a divine ruling. Stand tall, chosen one. What's in your hand may not look like much, but what's in your spirit is unstoppable. You have the victory. Now walk in it. Declare it. Build with it. Move like it's already done, because it is. Chapter 5. The land is prepared, and so are you. Chosen one, let this truth settle deeply in your spirit. The land is not being prepared. It is already prepared. And even more importantly, so are you. There is territory, spiritual, financial, relational, and geographical, that has been divinely ordained and specifically tailored for your name. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, God had already measured the boundaries. He had already laid the foundation. He already knew which doors you would need, which battles you would face, and which victories you would be destined to carry. You are not arriving late. You are arriving right on time, to a place heaven has been preparing for you, and to an assignment you have been prepared to fulfill. You are not stepping into something random. You are stepping into something that was built with your obedience in mind. This is the land you prayed for in the dark. The land you wept over when no one was watching. The land you fasted for while fighting silent battles. The land you remained loyal to God for, even when nothing seemed to change. You honored Him when it hurt. You followed Him when it was lonely. You praised Him when you had no proof. And now, you are stepping into what was always meant for you, prepared not just by promise, but by your faithfulness. And now the season is shifting. You have entered a realm where your name is being mentioned in rooms you have never stepped into, where opportunities are aligning with divine precision, and where keys are being placed in your hands. These are not ordinary keys. They were forged in fire, the fire of your process, the fire of your trials, and the fire of your surrender. What once felt like delay was, in truth, divine design. What once seemed like rejection was actually redirection, guiding you to the exact territory God has appointed for you to rule in. You are not arriving by accident. You are walking into what was always yours by divine orchestration. And understand this, the land you are stepping into is not merely physical property. It is a realm. It is an assignment, an atmosphere you are called to dominate. It is a platform, a weighty responsibility, a generational move of legacy. This promised land is not simply your reward. It is your divine responsibility. You are not just entering a place. You are stepping fully into purpose. This is a season of divine strategy. Heaven is releasing blueprints, connections, and supernatural insight to help you build what eye has not seen and ear has not heard. You are not here to visit the land. You are here to cultivate it, multiply it, protect it, and leave it better than you found it. The land was never waiting for the impatient version of you. It was not waiting for the insecure, rushed, or double-minded you. It was waiting for this version of you, the one who endured, the one who matured, the one who trusted God anyway. Now the land is in alignment, and so are you. You will begin to witness the manifestation of prayers you almost forgot you prayed. People will start to say, "I don't know why, but I feel led to help you." Doors will open, doors that make no sense in the natural, because you are finally walking in your spiritual inheritance. This is not coincidence, it is fulfillment. But do not forget this, the promised land is not solely about what you receive, it is also about what you release through it. It is not just a blessing for you, it is the beginning of a blueprint for others. What you build, what you birth, and what you leave behind will outlive you. This is about kingdom legacy. So walk boldly, speak wisely, and stay humble, because while the land may carry your name, God is still the owner. Yes, the land is prepared, but the most beautiful truth is this: so are you. Chapter 6, the panic around you is proof of the power within you. Chosen one, Take a moment to truly observe your surroundings. Something feels off. People are behaving strangely, and relationships are shifting without clear explanations. Places where you once felt at ease now seem unfamiliar. Unexpected doors are opening, while others are abruptly closing. You are being embraced in places you never imagined and rejected by those you thought would always remain. This is not confusion, it is not coincidence, and it is certainly not chaos. What you are experiencing is spiritual panic, the energetic realm around you struggling to keep pace with the immense weight of the power you carry. Because when a chosen one steps into divine alignment, everything around them must respond. Atmospheres shift, conversations take on new tones, and spiritual systems begin to realign. Even those who are not spiritually attuned can sense that something about you has changed. Though they may not be able to articulate it, they know. You are not merely walking, you are carrying divine glory. You are not simply entering spaces, you are enforcing heaven's agenda. As you step into a room, the environment cannot remain neutral. It moves, it shakes, it trembles. The energy shifts. The demons take notice. The atmosphere acknowledges the presence of the one who walks with you. You are no longer just a natural being. You are a vessel of supernatural power. You are not merely a person moving through life. You are a living, breathing embodiment of divine purpose. And make no mistake, the forces of darkness are fully aware of it. The adversary is not concerned with your current possessions, status, or circumstances. What truly unsettles the spiritual realm is the person you are becoming. It is your alignment with heaven, your increasing awareness and pursuit of divine purpose that causes such disruption in the unseen world. As you continue to walk in step with that higher calling, your destiny begins to unfold with undeniable clarity and power. And that unfolding, that divine progression, is something the enemy has no power to stop. His only strategy then is to attempt to distract you or derail your focus before you fully recognize and embrace the extraordinary purpose you carry within. But here is the liberating truth. You have already entered your promised land. You have already been chosen and set apart. The anointing, the symbolic oil of divine favor, is already flowing over your life. The assignment placed upon you by heaven is not pending, it is already in motion. And in the end, the only thing that could possibly hinder its fulfillment is if you choose to lay it down and surrender it yourself. You didn't endure the hardships, the testing, and the isolation of the wilderness just to abandon your purpose now that you've arrived in your promised land. So what should you do when everything around you feels uncertain, unstable, and shaken? You must remain rooted in truth, in purpose, in your identity. You must remain obedient, not to your emotions or the noise of the moment, but to the voice of God. And most importantly, you must remain surrendered, but not to fear, doubt, or discouragement. Your surrender must be to God alone, because the chaos, the unrest, and the panic that surrounds you right now is not an indication of danger or defeat. Rather, it is a divine signal that something significant is shifting and it's working in your favor. The turmoil and panic surrounding you at this moment are not indicators of danger or impending defeat. Rather, they serve as a divine signal, an unmistakable sign that something powerful within you is beginning to awaken and exert influence on the atmosphere around you. What resides in you, the anointing, the purpose, the kingdom, is stirring, and its presence can no longer be ignored. The mantle upon your life, the divine authority you carry, is now becoming visible and undeniable. Your calling is resonating with increasing clarity and volume. The kingdom that dwells within you is not a vague notion or distant idea. It is a living, active force, far too real and potent to be overlooked or suppressed any longer. And so, do not be misled by the discomfort you may be experiencing. Do not interpret the resistance as a sign that you are out of place or misguided. In truth, you are not under attack because you are lost. You are under pressure because you are exactly where you are meant to be. The intensity of the opposition is a direct reflection of the significance of your position. You are standing on ground that is sacred, territory that was promised not just to you, but to generations before you. You are fulfilling divine promises that have spanned time and bloodlines. You are actively breaking generational chains that have long kept your family bound. You are building a future that is not merely personal, but prophetically ordained. One soaked in divine strategy, heavenly wisdom, and destined for eternal impact. Therefore, do not retreat. Do not allow doubt to creep in or begin second-guessing what God has already confirmed to you in the sacredness of private moments, simply because others fail to comprehend it in public spaces. What was revealed to you in the quiet place remains true, even if it is not yet recognized by those around you. Do not diminish yourself in order to make others feel more comfortable. Do not dim the light that God has placed within you in an attempt to avoid conflict or confrontation. And do not feel compelled to downplay or explain away the move of God in your life, merely to remain relatable or accepted by those who have yet to understand the magnitude of what He is doing through you. Chapter 7. Walk in it because it is already yours. Chosen one, you have been chosen for such a time as this, and it is crucial to understand that this is not the season to diminish yourself. This is not the moment to retreat, hesitate, or wait for yet another sign, another prophetic word, or additional confirmation. You have already received all the affirmation you need. God has already declared it. Heaven has already given its approval. The matter concerning your destiny is settled, the ink is dry, and the covenant stands unshakable. You are not standing on the edge of a breakthrough, hoping to enter a new season. Rather, you are already living within the fulfillment of a promise long spoken over your life. There is no need for striving, pleading, or proving. You do not need to earn your place, your calling, or your identity, not to people, not to institutions, and not even to yourself. Your calling was never contingent upon popularity, performance, or perfection. God did not choose you because of external qualifications or public recognition. He called you according to divine purpose, an eternal plan crafted before the foundations of the world, now unfolding in and through your life. So walk confidently in what is already yours. God chose you long before the foundations of time were laid, and now the appointed moment has arrived for you to step into and take possession of what has always rightfully belonged to you. The land you have long envisioned is not merely a distant dream or an unattainable hope. It is your divine inheritance, secured and promised by God Himself. The promise you carry is not a vague possibility, subject to change or circumstance. It is a guaranteed reality, sealed and upheld by the full authority of heaven. As for the victory you seek, it has already been won. It was sealed eternally through the finished work of Jesus Christ on the cross. You are not walking toward victory as though it must still be achieved. Rather, you are walking in victory, living within the boundaries of a completed and unshakable work. You are not required to strive, to struggle, or to earn what has already been settled. Your role is not to win the battle, but to enforce what God has already decreed and established. Therefore, your posture must now shift. It is time to walk with the confidence of one who knows the land belongs to them. It is time to carry yourself with the authority, dignity, and assurance of someone who fully belongs, because you do. You must begin to think as a possessor, not merely as a visitor passing through. Your mindset should reflect the truth that you hold spiritual title deeds, divine ownership, granted by heaven itself. Your words should carry the weight and authority of someone who knows without doubt that God funds and provides for everything He has authored. Therefore, you are not called to speak with hesitation, but with conviction. You must learn to give not from a mindset of scarcity or survival, but from the abundance of one who has been appointed as a distributor of kingdom resources. Your movements should reflect the confidence of a kingdom ambassador, not the uncertainty of a wanderer still searching for external validation. You carry the authority of heaven, and your posture must align with that reality. Everything about you, your thoughts, your words, your actions, your stewardship, must reflect what heaven has already decreed concerning your life. This is not the season to entertain doubt, delay, or insecurity. This is the season to take dominion, to establish territory, to plant with intentionality, to produce with excellence, and to multiply what God has already entrusted into your hands. Make no mistake, the enemy is fully aware that you have arrived. That awareness is precisely why the intensity of spiritual warfare has increased around you. It explains the sudden onset of unusual circumstances, the unexpected disruptions, and the pressure emerging in areas of your life that were once marked by peace and stability. This shift is not an indication that you have taken a wrong turn or missed a critical step. On the contrary, it is confirmation that you have stepped into something significant, something ordained by God. And as a result, the kingdom of darkness is unsettled, even fearful. But here is the unshakable truth. Hell has no power to stop what heaven has already initiated. No demonic force, no unexpected delay, no act of betrayal, no man-made system, no opposing voice, nothing and no one can override or nullify the divine decree that God has spoken over your life. His word stands firm, and what he has begun in you, he will bring to completion. You have already entered your promised land, even if the surroundings still feel unfamiliar, even if there are visible giants standing in your path, even if your emotions are filled with uncertainty, and even if each step you take feels cautious and measured, you are, without a doubt, in the very place God has led you to. Now, the only remaining task is for you to believe it. You must claim it first in your mind and heart, even before it fully materializes in your hands. You must begin to speak with authority, to walk with boldness, and to carry yourself with the confidence of a son or daughter of the Most High, one who bears the undeniable mark of heaven's favor and carries a divine right to occupy this space. You have waited long enough. You have prepared with diligence. You have suffered through trials, endured seasons of silence, obeyed in difficulty, matured through adversity, and grown into the very person this moment requires. Now it is time to walk in it with full assurance, unwavering faith, and the boldness of someone who knows they belong. And if you're still hungry for more chapters to this journey or a visual concept for a video or thumbnail, just say the word. I'm here and ready to help bring it all to life. Thanks for watching. Here ends this video. Take a moment to like, share, and subscribe if you find this video interesting.